with no. Hey everybody, how you doing this afternoon? Let me invite a few folks on. See how many people we can get invited today. I hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. It's what's today? Halloween. So I'm just kind of curious about like what's everybody's plans for this evening. I don't really celebrate Halloween. I know my kids were raised to go trunk or treating and trick or treating, even Leah. But now, I don't know, as I've gotten older, I guess that's just not my forte. I will be, however, up at the IMC this evening. Guess me and Andre be up in here in the studio, somewhere around, you know. Might just go out to eat and call it an evening, call it a day. It's a gloomy day outside, so I can imagine it's only gonna get colder tonight. I can only imagine that it's gonna get a little bit colder tonight. So we shall see, you know? We shall see. But I don't know. We're almost there. It's almost time, right? 5 minutes or so. 5 minutes or so. And we'll be going live. We'll be on the radio. I don't know. Everybody's talking about the elections, and I know we're going to end up having a conversation about that sooner or later. That's got to be talked about today. How many people are going to get out there and vote and make their vote count? Because right now, I think, Andre, we are in a
difficult time.
Oh my God. If this ain't led nobody to the Lord, listen. I don't really know what could, you know? God help us. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. How's everybody doing this afternoon? It's good to see a few people online with me. You know, I'm in the studio. I'm live at WRFU 104.5. This is the IMC. We are here this afternoon. I have my weekly talk show. Forgive me for missing out on some things last week. I have still been completely under the weather a little bit. So I'm still going through my little recovery process right now. But, you know, I'll go through time and we'll go through a recovery period. And that'll be it for us today. But we're going to go live in the studio here in just a moment. And I'm sure you can hear the background, 104.5. That's where we're at. We're at the IMC for a little while. For a little while, anyway. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. I almost dropped my phone. My goodness. Okay. But we'll get on here in a little bit. We got a couple, 3 minutes. I gotta remember to do my, what is it? Legal ID. Gotta remember that. I gotta remember to do that at some point in time. This time, sometimes I miss out on doing it a lot. You know how that goes. But thanks a lot for everybody tuning in. Come on live with me. Like and share it, please. I appreciate that so much. Gets my ratings up. But I'm in live here at the studio at WRFU in Champaign-Urbana. And I need to put @ followers. That's what I should do. Did you share? Did you share that? You be doing right. You don't be sharing while you be on the line. I try to invite all of my followers to come in and go live with me online for a little bit, so we can have a few little conversations and talk about a few things that are going on. I know I've missed a couple of weeks being in here, and it is 2:58 right now. It's 2:58 right now. It says there's a slow connection sometimes too. You know, we'll go through that. We'll talk about a little few things today. Miss Marilyn, I gotta invite Miss Marilyn. I forgot about that one. 2:59, Andre. $2.59. And it is almost time for us to go live in the studio here in just a moment. Sure is. Hey everybody, how are you this afternoon? Thanks so much for tuning in to me. It is now 3 p.m. and now we are on live, Andre. We are live in the studio. Hello, everybody, and thanks so much for tuning in to me. It is now 3 p.m. and you are live with Afternoons with Delight. Thanks once again, I said to everybody that's tuning in this afternoon. I know it's kind of gloomy outside, even though it is Halloween. I guess that's the nature of the beast, for it to be a little gloomy. I guess it gives a little ambiance. And if you're in Illinois, just like I am, you realize that usually it's always gloomy outside on Halloween. But thanks again, like I said, for tuning in, everybody. And right now, I'm going to top off the hour with Legal ID. This is WRFU-LP Urbana. Our disclaimer is that WRFU is an open forum for the Urbana-Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speaker and guests, and they are not intended to represent WRFU-UCIMC. So how's everybody doing today? Andre, you're in the studio with me.
I'm here.
So we got Andre in the studio once again, guys. We got Leah over there. We pan to her each time, even though like she's hidden right now. So we're on live on Facebook as well. You can join me on there if you want to take a gander. But we go live every week, usually, if I'm not sick like I was last week. Thanks so much for tuning in to all that listen to the show, even though I wasn't in last week. But today is Halloween. You know, how is everybody feeling about that within itself? You know, are we going to parties or something tonight? I really don't celebrate it, like I said earlier. But Andre did a little digging and a little research. Andre did a little digging and a research, and I guess he ran across some information, I guess yesterday or today?
Today, this morning.
It was on, what was it on? It was on
CBS this morning.
CBS this morning. So CBS this morning said what, Andre?
They said that the reason for Halloween in the 1930s was for kids. They were doing mischievous things.
They were being mischievous. Oh my gosh. Like, so what did they say they were doing?
They were taking apart wagons and putting them on top of the buildings and destruction property and all type of things.
Really?
Yes. So they came up with reasons to give candy away. That was to deter the kids from destruction on property.
Wow. So they gave up a reason to give away the candy.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean, that's like really no different than what we're you know, I mean, still to this time and to this age, I guess, and to this degree, I don't know why. But, you know, we're still going through difficulties with the children out here. I guess So is that the reason for a lot of, I don't know, is that a reason why we're engaging with, Halloween activities still into this day? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of curious about that. But for them to, what did you say, create or keep it going in the 1930s so that they would be deterred from committing crimes?
Yeah. And destruction of property and burning buildings and all type of things.
Wow. That's
I guess it was a huge crisis for the children back then.
no different than what it is today. No different than what it is today. But wow. In the 1930s, I mean, I'm imagining like during that time period, that's like when our dad was born.
Yeah.
Right. So he was born in 1935. So I don't know. What do you do other than destroy property? Honestly,
Tip cows and
I've heard of that before. Cow tipping. Has anybody heard of that online? I'm talking about people that are, I'm sure, older than us. You know what I mean? But I've heard of cow tipping before. Like they would go into the fields or whatever and just knock them over. But they sleep standing up. So, that would make sense, right? I guess
so.
So anyway.
Whatever you can do to have fun, I guess.
How is that fun? I mean, everybody has a thing. I mean, that's
used to kick rocks and skip stones in the creeks.
That's true.
I guess they don't do that now, but.
I mean, that's a good question. Like, what do they do now? I mean, besides causing, I don't even want to say, vandalism, robbing,
Yeah, cyberbullying.
Oh my gosh, that cyberbullying is really, really true. But I mean, I know all kids aren't into that. So before anybody goes there, we know that all children aren't doing that. But it's a lot of kids that are out here on a path where, it's kind of scary. So, but I hope everybody has a safe Halloween night tonight. I know the IMC will be hosting Halloween event this evening, so if you're available, come on out. But on to other news, and everybody knows we're gonna end up talking about this. It's the election. I hope everybody is getting out and making their vote count.
Counts. To rock the votes.
Ooh, yeah. This election, I'm telling you, it has me so far spent right now. It's kind of just, scary. What do you think, Andre?
Yes, it's very scary, especially if, somebody else doesn't win,
Somebody else?
Yeah, somebody else that's not our candidate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I will be grateful when this entire thing is over, and I guess we can get back to some type of normalcy. My hope is for a particular candidate, of course, but Kamala Harris, then that, like I said, my views are my views. So, but I'm kind of, nervous about this whole situation, because if it does not end up in a, and he's even said that, you know what I'm saying? If it does not end in a particular fashion where it is pleasing to a lot of people, it could be destructive. And I can't imagine us having another January 6th,
right,
like it was before. That would be one of the worst things I could imagine right now. And because it's just too much going on in the world right now. I mean, we're living in times right now where it's scary because it's so divided. It's completely divided out here now. And I don't know. I don't know how this election is even bringing people closer. I know a lot of people, I got a lot of friends that are speaking on, voting on Kamala Harris, and they're talking about, they want to vote for a woman. And I think that's fantastic because a lot of them didn't even vote for Hillary Clinton last time. So, but I find it very, very concerning a little bit to be in this kind of a place, in this kind of a space when we're seeing so many things that are being said that are like blatantly lies, blatantly racist. You know, I never really, oh my God, Andre, I mean, literally, and, you know, this is me, you know, and, but I say a lot of different things, you know, hey, Brent, but, I say a lot of different things where I'm just like thinking to myself, how can we live in a world where our voice collectively as a whole, and I'm talking about African American people, where we're not being heard, or our views or our opinions or our thoughts are really like either being dismantled or either being struck down, not even put at the table, left in total disregard, like we're nothing, but yet we are the creators of almost all things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't understand how we live in a world where we're not really even respected. And I could say this about being on the job with different people, and I can say this about working in this arena, especially in Champaign-Urbana. I can say this because this is what it really is. You know, Paul, I hear what you're saying. He's trying to make all women second-class citizens. And if you're wondering where I'm getting this information, guys, and you're listening to me on the radio, I am actually on Facebook as well, like I said earlier in the broadcast, but I've got people who are, you know, expressing their opinions online as well, and I read those off as well. So if you have anything to say, my Facebook page is Mika Light. You can reach me on there as well. So anyway, but yeah, I find kind of a disassociation between what we're having, what we're actually living and viewing and going through versus who we actually are as a people. Because we're better than this. You know, we're not the people who have the weaponry, who will come into your house and dismantle and break up the family and the home like they've done. You know what I'm saying? So how can we always be, and it makes me mad about the systematical dysfunction that we live in as well. I can speak on that. I can speak on the police department. I can speak on a lot of things that I see. Even though, you know, Chief of the Police, Tim, I mean, he's a good guy. I believe in what he's doing. I believe he wants to make change for the people that are in this community. In Macon County, I can't agree with a lot of what they're doing because it's dysfunctional. And you know what? Nobody over there that I have seen has necessarily even stood up to say, you know what I mean? Like, what is going on in the court system? What is going on in our judicial system at all? And I'm getting really to the point where I'm like, where are our leaders? Because didn't I put you in that position?
Right.
I either voted you in or I elected you in. Where are you? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see, and you know, we can go back to the hey Brent, we are definitely at a waters. Yeah. We had a monumental moment in history for sure. You know, where something is going to happen, either one way or the other. It's gonna ignite something. You know what I mean? Because there are going to be people on either to the right or to the left that don't like what just happened. And what are we going to deal with? Then, you know, even in saying that, how do we go back and repair, Andre? Because you did all that damage all the way up until now. You called me everything but a child of God up until this point. And now you're my next door neighbor. I got to shake your hand, right? I got to shake your hand, you know? And especially a man, Beaufort, you're in fact an idiot. Reverend Terrence, you're right. If you are black, especially a man, and vote for Trump, you are an idiot. This is what, listen, I'm not a religious man. Only now, Paul says, I was raised in the fundamental biblical religion, and I have read the Bible many times. what did he say? What is going on now? Yeah. And our time is so much like Revelation. You're right. You're right, Paul. It scares me too, Paul. This is, you know what I just said when we first came on? If you don't understand and have a relationship with God, and this didn't bring you closer, I feel for you, as I really do.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is praying time. Because even in whatever we get, whatever comes next, right? It could be Kamala. It could be the other man. It could be, right? But my thing is the repair that it'll take in order to repair a people who just literally went through
war
with each other.
You can't even wear Kamala's shirt
No.
without somebody trying to rip it off you.
No, you can't walk down your streets and feel safe in the fact of knowing we have a difference. You know, we got a difference of opinion. And I'm telling you, that's the destruction and that's the disparity that I see with how are we going to repair this once it's over. Because that election, tomorrow's my birthday, everybody. That election, but that election is just a mere few days away, right? Paul says he's waiting on for the archangel's horns to start. Me too, Paul. Me too, because you know what, I think about it every day.
And then you don't want another November or January
6th. I can't imagine having another January 6th. And the level that it got to, Andre.
There's still nobody's
paying for that.
Nobody's paying for it.
There is a black man there that was paying for it. They charged him and he was criminally prosecuted, went through everything.
Like you said, a black man.
Hey, my point. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, listen, I'm far from going for the stretch, but a lot of people that know and understand our judgment system, you know what I'm saying? Have a great day, Paul. Thanks for being on. Oh, happy birthday, Paul. But listen, I'm telling you. Brent said, Terrence, say what? But, but I'm just telling you, listen, there are a lot of things that are going on that we need to figure out as an entire community, because our neighbors are more than just black and white. You know what I'm saying? We got brown kids. We got all nationalities, all races represented within our circumference, right? So at that point in time, then what? You know, how do you repair this when you've got mom and dad, sisters and brothers? Like, this thing is dividing families. You know, this election is dividing families, which I find so very not surprising, but it's a little bit shocking, Andre. Yeah. It's a little bit shocking for me, because I'm like, there are families that won't even speak to each other. I was just talking to a really good friend of mine that lives in Tennessee, and, you know, her family won't even speak to her because of what she's choosing to vote as. Yeah. Because this will be the first time that she has voted as that. And her family don't want to talk to her anymore. And I'm like, how is your mom and dad saying just because of the way that you voted? But this was like in the radical movement of religion. This was like, it reminds me of how old time religion was, how, you know, when my mom was, when they were first, you know, seeking salvation and going and, you know, going through the charismatic experience of receiving the Holy Ghost and things like that. A lot of their families would like tell them, you can't live here no more. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's almost like you're being put, I have to pick from the right or to the left. You know what I'm saying? I've got to pick, you know, a different side. What side will I be on? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's a scary feeling when, if you're a person that has been involved in different things, you know what I'm saying? It's like, at what point, you know, do I feel safely in the understanding and knowing that I can communicate with my family, I can express my opinions, and we won't go to war over this? You know, do we have to go to war over this? you know, at some time, I'm just kind of curious about the rationality of a lot and how things are going on in the world right now. So, you know, if you have any comments on it, what you laughing at, Daniel? Daniel, love those glasses. Thanks a lot, Daniel. But, you know, I'm just kind of curious about a lot of different things. So, you know, you guys are turned up on this conversation. Let's keep going. So, you know, we've got the election coming up. We've got the voters out. And now have you seen what they've been doing?
To the voting boxes.
To the voting boxes. Right. So the voting boxes have been burnt, destroyed. They're fighting at the polar place over here in Champaign. I just saw that on the news yesterday. And you know what? I mean, I've been voting, and, you know, like I said, I'll be 48 tomorrow, guys. So I have not known that you couldn't wear a pin to the voting booth of the person that you endorsed. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you couldn't wear paraphernalia of the person that you endorsed to the voting booth. Like, listen, I was yesterday years old. Like,
I didn't know that.
I really had no clue. I had no clue that you couldn't do that. So, you know, having that knowledge, and, you know, it makes me wonder about how a lot of people are moving now. I mean,
is that recent or new? Because
I don't think it was recent or new. Aaron Evans came online and he said, I thought he said that had been going on.
I remember wearing an Obama shirt when I voted.
Really? But where were you? Were you in Indianapolis?
No, I was in Illinois.
Were you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, if anybody knows Aaron, or if anybody has any information about that and that can post it up online, let me know. Tell me if that recently just came out, that it's new to, you can't wear paraphernalia of the person that you endorse to the booth to vote. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I don't know, you know, but I hadn't heard that before. But yesterday, like I said, I was yesterday years old when I found this out. So I'm just very, very surprised. There are so many different things that are going on.
Well, you know, they always change something in the voting.
Right at the minute.
The competency test, all type of things. Yeah.
And then, you know, I did not know that if you're not a citizen and you get sent a ballot or sent, you know, materials, or if you go and vote, they give you so many days to contest that you're not a citizen. They give you like a 14-day period where they're like, you know, you're not a citizen, so you can't vote. I didn't know even any of this and how this all plays out. I had no idea, because I'm like, how do you find out, right? You know where I'm going. Mm-hmm. How do you find out when they're counting the ballots who's really a citizen?
Right. And how many they taking away?
Right.
They might have 1,000.
You know, I mean,
they take away and swing the state.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary. You know what I'm saying? I thought, you know, at one point I used to believe that voting was done with some type of dignity. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and I thought, like, I don't know why I'm so naive, but I am. Where I feel like a lot of people, you know, don't even respect the fact of, you know, just going through everyday life. Like, you know how people will get something for free?
Yeah.
Not because it was supposed to be given to them, like you won something for free, right? But most of the time it's that taken. It's that, you know, I'm going to take it because, wow, I got me something for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't even need it.
No. Yeah. You know, and we're so, you know, big on just taking. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, completely the vanity that people have, the selfishness that I'm encountering with people on a daily basis, it scares me. Right. You know, there is no dignity or no shame in being a person with morals or values. I mean, there is complete shame, you know, I don't want you to be a moral person. I don't, you know, you don't need to be a person of value. Well, when did these standards get lowered to the ground?
That's America. That's America.
And you talking about make America great again?
When was
On
it
what?
When was it great?
When
we
right.
didn't have nothing.
Right. We still ain't got nothing. God for you know what I'm saying? God forbid. You know, he gonna give us our just due. Cause you know, I was oh my goodness. Listen, I watched a movie the other day, right? It was called Tethers. Let's segue into something else because we got to get off of this. Because, you know, I'm getting hyped. Anyway, I can't get hyped than I was last night because, listen. Anyway, but I watched this movie the other day. It was called Tethers. You know, Tethers was based on, it was like a documentary. A gentleman was giving his opinion about reparations, about, you know, just being black culture, right? And so it was a gentleman that was on there with him that was giving his insight of black culture, right? So after this gentleman was giving him his insight on black culture, what have you, he said that we have received, Andre, our reparations already. That we can pull ourselves up from the bootstraps. We just need to pull ourselves up from our bootstraps. Because black people in America, he was from Nigeria. He was like, black people from America have already received their reparations. Like, what else do they need? You know? And I was like, wow. You know, I mean, I wonder how many other cultures think
This way.
Yeah. Because, honestly, I mean, what have
was
we...
it made for them to think this way, too?
It was made for them to think like that towards us.
Yeah.
Yep. I believe that. I'm totally in alignment with that. You know, I talk to, I say a lot about my friend girl, Miriam. And I'm not talking about you, Miriam, here in the IMC if you're listening. But I got a friend lady, her name's Miriam Baez, and I'm sure a lot of people know her. But she's from Africa, and she was like, you know, being raised in Africa, we were always told that, you know, black people in America were like this, you know, which was the most negative depictions of black people. And I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, this is what the propaganda that they have been pushed over there. So much so that when they get over here, and, you know, I see black people that are here get deterred from even engaging and having relationships with them because it's like, and they did this on purpose, Andre.
Right. Because every other nation, they come walk down the street past me, they're scared to speak.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Yeah.
Asians, Europeans.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, why are we the most hated nationality, race of people
that was done the worst
in the world? And we're not fighters, you know? And I think a lot of times people have like a really, really skewed perception of us based on maybe one or two people or one or two interactions that they have from, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a lot of friends that are white. You know, we grew up in Home Park.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Most of the kids that I went to school, either I was like one of three in Elgin, you know, Hawthorne if he online, but, you know, rest in peace, Don Lake, you know what I'm saying? But we were like Gayla Hawthorne, you know what I'm saying? We were one, Tanya.
At least like maybe four.
It was like at least 4 or 5 of us. 6 of us maybe in the classroom.
Class of 20, 25.
In the class of about 20, 25, maybe 30 students, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of the kids that we went to school with were white. You know what I mean? Those were like our best friends. And then, you know, as we've gotten older, you know, I struggle with those relationships because it's like we went into our own worlds, and I understand growing up. I understand everybody's living their lives. But it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like now, it's a struggle now to have those same childlike nature tendencies, beliefs, and you know, friendship levels.
Right. Yeah, because we could all play together, but
Yeah.
we all can't work together.
Lord have mercy. Say that again.
We all can play together, but we all can't work together.
We all can play together, but we can't work together, you know. And I find that that's the most disheartening statement that I have heard by far. You know, I'm understanding that we're raising children to work, to play, to engage, to be together, but yet we as adults can't have common ground and common sense to assimilate and work as one.
Right.
You know, anything that we do is on a destructive level. If I got 200 or 300 black people together, that would be mob action.
Yeah.
Versus what I just saw on January the 6th, that was not mob action.
Right.
How is it not the same? You know, and I think at this point in life, you know, we got to really start asking these hard questions, because now we're talking about a systematical structure that has been destroyed. Yet we're living up under this umbrella where everything that we do is up under the microscope.
Right.
Every single thing that we do. But yet the same critique and the same standards are not of others. So how do we get it to a point and a place where we all will feel like, you know what, if I jaywalk and Billy over here jaywalks, we'll get the same treatment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, for me, it got to be something more. It got to be more.
Because we all know he'll just get a ticket. We'll get slammed on the ground.
Man, I'm telling you, Andre. I mean, I'm literally in the courthouses watching court proceedings. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just witnessed something the other day where somebody had like a massive amount of detonatable things that could have blew up a block. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
And basically just got a slap on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, how is that possible?
Right.
When we got a boy out here who they just gave a young man 3 years over having a bullet. And that was his first offense.
Right.
Make this make sense for me, because it's not making sense. You know what I'm saying? It's not making sense for me anymore. It's nonsensical. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsensical in the mannerisms that we don't have any people that are really paying attention to these minute details where we have to organize and have something established within ourselves. You know, last night I just put up online, like, if I can get, you know, our family members to donate $2,000-$3,000 worth, let's put that money together and buy some land. I got 2 responses.
Mm-hmm.
That the ability that we could work together, but we don't want to work together. That's what divides us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Then
saying?
Where does that come from?
You know where it comes from.
You know.
You in a big house, I'm in the field.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that right there, that mentality of learning and living has separated us for years. You know, I just had a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago, and we were talking about the nature of teaching children, right? We were in a situation where we're in the schools with about 5 or 6 young men, and Andre, you know, those little young guys were like, buck if you chuck, buck nuck if you buck. Look at DJ PJ. But those little boys were like buck wild, right? And so, of course, the first reaction you're gonna have is like, listen, you know, I don't want to deal with this garbage. You know what I'm saying? But Andre, they were older kids. They were like 6th graders. You know what I'm saying? 5th, 6th graders. So I think about, like, I watched their behaviors. I watched how they interacted. I watched the fact that they didn't know how to sit down. I watched the fact that when you give them one command, they don't listen off of one command. And these were ODD kids, oppositional defiance disorder. You know what that is? When you know, you know. And they labeled them as oppositional defiance disorder. You know what I'm saying? To track them on a different kind of path in life. But I looked at these young children, right? And so I thought to myself, like, Lord, what would have happened if somebody started imparting in them in the first grade? What about in kindergarten? You know what I'm saying? What about in preschool? Or what about when mom was having the baby? You know what I mean? Because I think we miss out on a lot just because we don't know, or we don't know what to do, or you don't know what to ask, or you don't know how to participate in the right questioning. You don't know, right? And that's no fault of one person's or the other, but I think as educators, as parents, as community, when you see a problem with a child, why wouldn't you be that force and be that person that comes in and tries to make that alteration? Or why wouldn't you navigate to putting them in a different space? But then, like you just said, we were raised to be in this separatist mindset with one another, right? So if we're separated in our minds with one another, right, then surely you don't want the best for my kid.
Right. So if you try to come tell my kids something, no.
Right.
No.
Right.
Even if it's a good thing.
Man, when did we get away from that?
I don't know.
Andre, literally, when did we get away from that?
I don't know.
What year was that?
We used to go to church, the ushers, they tell us what to do.
Sisterhood and them would pop us.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. If you know, you know. House of Faith Church of God in Christ. Check in.
Yeah.
Brother
Ties.
Brother Ties, Sister Ties. You know what I'm saying?
They get us in check.
Right. And Mama never turned around and was like, "You better not touch my baby."
Right.
Sister Light would not turn around and be like, I remember she whooped me so bad for chewing a piece of gum in church. I was like, Sister Light, why are you so abusive? Anyway, my last name is Light. You know what you're listening to. This is Afternoons with D-Light. But my mom's name, they used to call her Sister Light in church. But anyway, now she's Mother Light. But yeah, Andre, I don't remember the year that we got away from that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. And I think that's where we messed up.
I think it goes all back to these smartphones. We kind of flirting about two weeks ago about these smartphones.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Yeah.
It's not...
Yeah.
That's when I can see it happening.
I really don't know when it happened, Andre. I really don't.
Like smartphones, and then you don't have to teach your kid. Just give them a smartphone. Here you go.
But when did we get away, like we just said, when did we get away from needing another person to guide our children in that pathway? You know what I'm saying? When did we get away from, okay, you know what? I'm letting another parent whoop our kid. Discipline. I can't say whoop online. I don't know what I can say. But not corporal punishment. I'm not talking about beating them down with a branch. I'm not talking about sexual abuse. I'm not talking about child abuse. So let's be clear, as Kamala would say.
Yeah. Correct the children.
Oh my gosh, yes. When did we get away from that? So does anybody have any thoughts and views on that one? When did we get away from even allowing the neighbor? So you remember that? Remember those days, right? When the neighbor, you could go down the street and the neighbor lady, before you even made it back to the house, you would get in trouble all the way up and down the house. You're like, all the way up and down the street. You're like, my God, I got to end up telling sister and mama and daddy that I did this. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to go home because you know what's about to go down. Yeah. When did we get away from that, guys? You know what I'm saying? Because
they didn't already call down the street on you.
Right. I'm telling you that used to be the case in the time period that we lived in, when we could actually sit there, and before you made it to the house, your mama already knew what had happened, and she knew that Miss Becky Sue that was on the corner, or we grew up with Jensine now,
she knew that, I would get a whooping from Jensine before I even got to the house. I'm like, why am I getting a whoop? Tennille did that. But anyway, it was like, it was always Tennille. But, listen, I'm wondering.
You shouldn't have been with her.
Man, she didn't, Lord Jesus. But anyway, but honestly, you would have discipline in your neighborhood with the ladies that we grew up in. So I'm talking about the people that were in their 40s, and now you're going into your late 40s, early 50s. I'm talking about, late 50s during that time period, because those are the people that we grew up around. Because even when my kids were born, my kids are in their 30s, 20s, teens right now. I don't remember telling my sisters or going to a place and point where I'm like, no, you can't with my kid, because they would just do it.
Yeah, I just come straight through the door. I just go straight through the door.
Right. So I don't remember that time we whooped Darlene kids. Like,
yeah, took the whole week off.
They took the whole week off from school, and Dewan, if you're online, you know what you did. Katura. Yeah, I think, but they took a whole week off from school, skipped school, and Darlene was like, come over here and whoop these kids. I'm on my way. I mean, literally. I was dressed in all fatigues that day. And when I tell you they worked out my back, I thought I had lifted 100 men. Oh my goodness. But when did we get away from Couture watching? But when did we get away from you disciplining you, like your nieces and nephews? Did it stop in the 30s? Or the 20s? Because now it's like if you say something to these kids now, and what are they, like 17, 18, 19, 20-ish?
Yeah.
If you say something to them now, I mean, they are ultimately offended. They are like totally disrespected. How dareth you do this to me? You know what I'm saying? And there is no repeal for that.
You know what most of the answer is? My mama don't even do this to me.
Oh my God. Oh
your
my.
mama don't whoop you. Your mama don't check you. Your mama don't. Your daddy don't. Nobody's checking you.
Nobody. But do you consider that, even now we talk about that, right? Is that love? If that's love, because in the Bible it clearly tells you, if you spoil the rod, you know what I'm saying? Spare the rod, spoil the child, right? Are we growing up? Just like we were talking to Paul online earlier, and he said the same exact thing that I feel as well, is that we are coming into a time and season where we are seeing. I remember growing up, Andre, and you know how we would go to church and they'd be like, you know what, the end is near, the end is near. I think that was prophesied and told to us like, what, every Sunday?
Every day Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Especially 1999.
Yeah. Seriously, Andre. Before it clicked over to 2000,
you know what,
I didn't even...
We stayed in the church that whole night.
Did y'all really?
Yeah.
I was down in Tennessee. You hear me? I was in Tennessee, and I stayed at home that whole night. I was like, we ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? If he gonna come on through, he gonna come by here.
Yeah.
Then
we're gonna be ready.
We're gonna be ready, but we're gonna be together.
Blood on the wall, blood on the door.
We gonna be together in Jesus' name. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I wasn't going out nowhere in 1999 in the 2000s, but we grew up going into shut-ins. You know what I'm saying? We grew up, tearing for the Holy Ghost. You on the floor. You know what I'm saying? But during those time periods, I mean, I think that's our saving grace, Andre.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Out of everything that we've been talking about today, where do I think a lot of things are declining or have failed? Is literally, don't nobody take their kids to church no more.
No.
So you ain't even instilled the fear of God in your child, which is why your child believes
you ain't got no consequences.
You ain't got no consequences for nothing. And you have no fear.
And no love.
Man. Lawless and loveless.
Yeah.
lawless and loveless, Andre. You know what I'm
don't
saying?
know
It makes sense.
You don't know what breaking bread is? Communion?
You don't know what hard work is, friend. I said, we in a generation where they ain't shuck no peas. Me and DeRichie just said this yesterday. So, they ain't shuck no peas, Andre. And they have not, they ain't, you know what I'm saying? And they've not,
You don't know where your milk comes from. You don't think your milk comes from Starbucks or Chipotle.
No. They don't know about having food in the basement, Andre. They don't know about stockpiling. They don't know about having a deep freezer.
Yeah.
They don't know about picking greens,
Yeah.
DeRichie.
They don't know about working all day so you can eat at
No,
night.
no. Everything is Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Everything is quick and fast.
Make sure you gotta take that chicken out in the morning so we can eat it at night.
Right. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. I remember again. But anyway, I remember telling my kids to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll be here in Champaign. You know what I mean? And get ready to cook dinner or cook and be like, you know what? Y'all need to take this meat out before y'all get ready to leave this house in the morning. Because when I leave this house in the morning, I ain't going to be taking this meat out. But I want you to take it out. Or at night, Andre. You know what I'm saying? They will get up first thing in the morning. I'm working an overnight shift. I'm telling you, like, the times are so different now. And I see it. I see where it is right now. It is a complete lawless and loveless generation.
Yeah.
And I think that's the culmination of it all. It all just came together. Literally, we don't see, like, even tonight, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people are having trunk or treats for the children, for the kids. And, I could have an opinion about it, but I did that already. You know what I'm saying? I did that with my children, my grandsons, my granddaughter, they finna get ready. Yes, I got grandchildren, praise God. I made it. I seen that other side. So, I have that capability of understanding you want to do something for the children. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? What I believe is in the teaching of what you do for your children and what you do for your family, giving them some kind of idealism and guidance on, okay, well, this is why we're going to this, or we're going to have this, but this is the reason that we don't celebrate it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not giving them, like we just talked about, if you're not giving them real identity, real structure, but you know what? I was going to swing back around to this because also that has a lot to do with your culture. And if you're not, parents ain't teaching about culture.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They're not teaching their kids culture, community. So you don't have no foundation and no real roots, which means you can be plucked up out of here.
Right.
At any time, because you have nothing strong to really stand on. You know what I'm saying?
And all the culture they think is on BET or Housewives. That's not our culture.
That is not. But it is our culture. You know why? We created those things, Andre. A lot of things that they wear, a lot of things that they're doing. And I was talking about alienation, right? So that means, like, in order, like, a lot of other cultures benefit off of what we've done because we created a sense of style for, they call it Black culture. We've created, hip hop, different things like that, right? But the alienation of it is the fact that people benefit off of what we've done in the culture. So we never get paid from none of that.
None of that.
Okay? We don't have any rights to record labels, to the things that we put this work into obtaining and getting. They have alienated from us. Yeah. So it's a lot of, when are we going to learn that we provided the sense of style, the dress, in different aspects. I'm not saying we provided every style in every aspect, hairstyles that we created, hair, products that we've created. And you see masterful people going out here and now they can steal and take it, market it,
put it on TV,
put it on television,
get all their families,
and get all their royalties.
Yeah,
get all the royalties.
Get all their families producing jobs. And
yeah.
To produce our culture.
Yeah. to produce our culture. And they have alienated from us, and they've stole all the rights of who we are, but yet we have no culture, Andre.
Right.
Let them tell it. We ain't got no culture, which is why we don't have a flag of our own. No black person in this community, in this world, in America has a flag of their own. You know what I'm saying? Which means that's what that movie, The Tethering, or, you know, when I watched that documentary the other day, it was about the tether. Because what he spoke on was the different variations of black. You know what I mean? Because you can be black, but not be a black American, rooted and born and raised and have generations that died in this land. You can be black and be from another country, which is what the tethering is about. So when they try to lump us all together, you know what I'm saying? Right. We're not lumped all together because we're from different facets. Right. You know, one black person can be completely Dominican, but they came here to the United States of America. You can't. And they were talking about the royalties of the delineation. Like, you know, they alienated from us. They took the things that we created. So then other cultures, you know what I'm saying, will try to benefit as well off of what we've created here in the United States of America. Right. How can that be?
Same as slavery.
Same as slavery, Andre.
Same as slavery.
Same as slavery. Cotton picking. Tobacco picking. You know what I'm saying?
And now we're sharecropping on
our own goods. Our own goods and services.
So we getting a penny on the dollar.
Wow. Oh my God. Still to this day. I'm like, you know, listen. When I tell you, I know. Red Dean, Miss Marilyn, you just tried to call me. If you want to call in for this last 10 minutes on here. But I'm telling you, that's the shocking nature of this beast. You hear me? And when will we learn, Andre? You know what I'm saying? When will we learn? When? Because that's what I keep going back to. Is like at some point in time, we have to come aware and come alive for ourselves. And I'm not telling us to go fight, but yes, I am. Because somebody has to be willing to go all the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really, you listen, I've been blackballed because I try to stand up for things that I believe in. And in this community, a lot of people understand what I'm saying. If they don't like you, they'll try to keep you unemployed. They'll try to keep you away from the jobs. They'll try to keep you away from the car. They'll try to keep you, hey, Kiwi, but they'll try to keep you away from getting the things that you need to survive. But I know a man. Anyway, he'll never let that water run dry. You know what I'm saying? So I got to understand where my source is, and my source is God. And I'm going to speak on my truth. Because I have seen, you know, working for different corporations, working for different companies here, they will blatantly steal your ideas. You know, we just went through this working with the organization here, and in a couple of weeks or so, this will be cast out and called out because I have no shame in what's going on. And I feel like if I'm going to speak on it, I'm going to speak on the whole truth. And the problem with me is, like I told Miss Marilyn last night, I got receipts for everything that I say. I definitely got receipts for everything that I say. I can tell you exactly when, exactly what day, and also I have witnesses to everything that went on. So until you get to a place and a point within this community where we can work together and be actually for real, instead of being out here on this fake time, and it looks good, so I'm going to put on a really good show so somebody will see what I'm doing. I'm not that person, and I'll never be that person, which is why I'm grateful for this platform, because I can be exactly who I want to be, who I was created to be. Yeah. I was created for this, Andre. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I've been an arguer ever since.
What?
Andre.
No, we ain't having none of that. What?
Well, I know I got to question this, Andre. Like, what? I got to question this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we would come home from Sunday from church. I remember this in Bear we'd be sitting right there in front. And we would have a choir would sing the same song. I mean, you know what? It's like you mimic the behavior because you knew it was a good thing to mimic. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that these kids out here nowadays can't mimic no behavior, Andre, because it ain't good. It ain't no good. You know what I mean? It is not good. Just like we started out with talking about how people will get things and acquire and accumulate something for free and boast and brag on the fact that they got over.
Yeah.
Not that they got the thing for free, but the fact that, you know what? Another 20 slid out of that slot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you'll boast and brag on the fact of things that are not, you have no moral. No integrity, no value to be like, you know what, you probably should put that back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We were talking about several things with Miss Marilyn, you know what I'm saying? But different scenarios and situations where people take advantage of you. Why would you take advantage of somebody, you know what I mean, that really can't even fight for themselves? I mean, they can fight for themselves, but yet, why would you take advantage of them? You know, so in that world of moral integrity and finding that balance, we got to be able to show this and exemplify who we say we are to our children. You know, who we say we are to our children, who we say we are to our people. And this is the true component and true sacrifice that you have to make, because every day you don't want to be good. Every day you want to be nice. You know what? I just had to snap out on somebody yesterday where, you know, I thank God for deliverance because he's still working on me. I'm a work in progress, but however, look at the little puppies they came in. But one over there. Aww. Yeah, they got puppies in the studio. I wish I could show them to you guys. That's crazy. Oh, they're out there somewhere. But yeah, I'm just telling you, like, just based on a lot of different things in our life, we got to get back to some foundational roots and some foundational goals where we can establish ourselves so that the youth will have something positive to look up to. You know, that's what I'm finding more and more as we go on and on in this journey in life. And I'm not telling you that I do all things well and all things perfect, because I snap, you know, and I snap.
Wrong day.
Listen, I try not to do that. You know, like I said, the Lord is working on me. Every day is not great. Every day is not perfect. But you know what? Every day is blessed. I can tell you that much. But like I said, we have to get back to the structure of what we want to see. You have to actually be what you want to see, you know? And I think we're having a hard time making that correlation and making that meeting of the minds with one another. Because you know what? If I can take more, you don't know. I'm getting fatter. You can see the fruits of of what I'm taking. But I can't see the fruits of your labor, because there is no more love. There is no more kindness. You know what I'm saying? Everybody overweight, but ain't nobody actually showing the fruits of their labor. You know what I'm saying? You getting fat off of sin. Being in a sinful nature and sinful mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this to be figuratively saying that people are getting fat. What I'm saying is this is a spiritual battle. And your fruits, you know what I'm saying? They said you will know them that labor among them by the fruits. If I don't see nothing being produced, I got a hard time with it. I got a hard time with that. And I'm just going to tell you, you know, that's the nature of who I am. But, Andre, you got any last words? We got about 2 minutes left here in the studio.
Any last words? No last words for me.
No last words for you, Andre? Weird.
I'm just waiting on this election.
I know. Everybody get out there and vote.
Yeah.
Get out there and vote. Your vote does matter. It does count. I hope to have this over with by the time I come back next week. What it'll be, the 5th, 6th? It'll be the day after? Or it'll be the day of?
I think it's the 6th.
Okay. By the time that I come back, yeah, it will be the day of the election completion. The day after, right? Because the 5th is on, right.
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, so it'll be the day after, guys. And I hope that, the country can, like I said, come to a conclusion, come back to a whole, come back together once again. And everybody, once again, tomorrow's my birthday. Thanks so much. I appreciate your excellent shout outs and concerns leading up to my special day. Hey, Miss Cleveland. But she said we need to get the compassion back and get our hearts lighter. Yeah. But yeah, we really do. But like I said, I thank you all for tuning in. I thank you all for the engagements. I appreciate that so much. Hey, Joseph. Hey, Kiwi. Hey, Wamita Sullivan. Jabril, Andy. I appreciate all, Trey. But thanks again, guys. And it is now 4:00. Have a great afternoon. And this has been Afternoons with Delight. Have a great day. Bye.